What if I told you that a coin most people would spend without hesitation could actually be worth more than a luxury home? Law coins were Lincoln penny coins. What if a single penny, sitting unnoticed in an old coffee can, a dresser drawer, or a forgotten coin jar, held the potential to change someone's financial future forever? Every day, millions of Americans handle pocket change without giving it a second thought. Pennies are tossed into jars, left in cup holders, dropped between couch cushions, and sometimes even abandoned on sidewalks because they seem too insignificant to pick up. But collectors see the world differently. Where spenders see 1 cent, collectors see possibility. Where others see spare change, collectors see hidden wealth. And among the countless coins that have circulated through American hands, one mysterious piece continues to capture the imagination of treasure hunters and numismatists alike: the legendary 1964 Lincoln cent, associated with rare mint anomalies, elusive rare varieties, and whispers of astonishing values that have stunned collectors across the country. The truly frightening part is that one could pass through your hands and you might never know it. Before we continue, take a moment and think about where your loose change is right now. Do you have a coin jar in the kitchen, a box in the garage, an inherited collection tucked away in a closet? Because what we're about to discuss may change the way you look at every penny forever. The story begins in 1964. America was experiencing a period of transformation. The nation was growing, industry was booming, and the United States Mint was operating under immense pressure to produce enough coinage for a rapidly expanding economy. Demand for coins had reached extraordinary levels. Production facilities worked around the clock. Billions of coins were manufactured and released into circulation. The goal was simple: make coins, make them fast, keep commerce moving. But history has repeatedly shown that whenever production is pushed to its limits, mistakes become inevitable. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are often worth far more than perfection. Most 1964 Lincoln cents remain common. They are found in collections, coin jars, and old piggy banks throughout America. Their face value remains exactly 1 cent, but hidden among these ordinary examples are a select few that display characteristics so unusual, so difficult to locate, and so highly sought after that they have become legendary among serious collectors. These are the coins that create excitement. These are the coins that inspire treasure hunts. These are the coins that transform ordinary change into extraordinary wealth. The first category involves dramatic double die characteristics. This occurs when the coin die receives multiple impressions during its creation process, causing certain design elements to appear doubled. Collectors often search for doubling in the date, lettering, and portrait details. To the untrained eye, the difference may appear subtle. To an experienced numismatist, those tiny details can mean everything. A strong double die variety instantly separates a coin from the billions of ordinary examples produced during the same year. Then there are off-center strikes. These fascinating errors occur when a coin blank fails to align properly during the striking process. The result is a coin with a design shifted noticeably to one side. The more dramatic the displacement, while still retaining visible identifying details, the more attractive the piece becomes to collectors. Every off-center strike tells a story. Every one is unique. No two are exactly alike. Another category involves die cracks and die breaks. As minting equipment wears down under enormous pressure, cracks can develop in the dies themselves. These imperfections transfer directly onto the coin surface. Some appear as thin raised lines. Others create dramatic visual effects that resemble lightning bolts crossing the design. Collectors have long been fascinated by these mint-made anomalies because they provide a direct glimpse into the manufacturing process itself. Now here's something most people never consider. The rarest coins are often hiding among the most common ones. Think about that. If you discovered a chest filled with gold bars, you'd know immediately that you found something valuable. But a rare penny? It looks almost identical to every other penny. That's exactly why these treasures continue to be overlooked. Here's a quick attention reset. If you have a coin jar nearby, Imagine discovering that one penny inside could be worth more than an entire year's salary. Would you start checking your change more carefully? Most people would, and that's precisely why interest in rare Lincoln cents continues to grow. Collectors understand something that casual observers do not. Rarity is only part of the equation. Condition matters just as much. A coin preserved in exceptional condition becomes dramatically more desirable than an identical example showing years of circulation where professional grading services evaluate coins according to strict standards. Every detail matters, every mark matters, every tiny imperfection matters. The difference between an average coin and a top-grade specimen can represent thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands. In extraordinary situations, even more. This brings us to one of the most fascinating concepts in the entire hobby: ghost coins. The ghost coin is not necessarily rare because so few were created. It's rare because so few survive in collectible condition. Collectors hear stories about them, auction houses discuss them, experts reference them, yet most enthusiasts never encounter one in person. They exist almost like legends, hidden in private collections, stored inside vaults, passed quietly from one collector to another. These elusive examples become objects of obsession. People spend years searching for them. Some spend decades, and occasionally, someone finds one where nobody expected it to be, in an inherited collection, inside an old cigar box, at a garage sale, or sitting unnoticed among ordinary pocket change. Now ask yourself this question: how many old coins have passed through your hands over the years? How many pennies did you spend without looking? How many opportunities disappeared because nobody realized what they were holding? That question alone keeps collectors awake at night, because every rare coin story begins with someone paying attention when everyone else wasn't. The excitement surrounding rare 1964 Lincoln cents isn't just about history. It's also about the modern marketplace. The coin collecting world has changed dramatically over the past decade. Online auctions have expanded global access. Collector communities have grown. Information spreads faster than ever before. When an exceptional coin appears, thousands of interested buyers can learn about it almost instantly. That creates competition, and competition creates higher prices. As demand increases and supply remains fixed, the market responds accordingly. Collectors understand that truly exceptional coins cannot be manufactured today. Their populations are permanently limited. Every year, more examples are lost, damaged, cleaned improperly, or removed from collectible condition. The surviving population becomes increasingly important and increasingly valuable. Here's another attention reset. Imagine explaining to someone that you became excited over a penny. They might laugh until you tell them what that penny could potentially be worth. Suddenly the joke isn't so funny anymore. That's the remarkable psychology behind rare coin collecting. Tiny objects can carry enormous value. A piece of copper smaller than a bottle cap can command attention from investors, historians, and collectors around the world. Because value is not determined by size. Value is determined by rarity, demand, condition, and significance. The strongest examples combine all four factors, and when they do, extraordinary auction results become possible. Stories of six-figure and even headline-grabbing valuations continue to inspire new generations of collectors. Each remarkable sale reignites the dream. Each discovery reminds people that hidden treasures still exist, not buried beneath ancient ruins, not hidden on remote islands, but circulating through everyday America. Sometimes treasure looks exactly like pocket change. That's what makes the search so addictive. Every handful of coins becomes a possibility. Every roll of pennies becomes an opportunity. Every inherited collection becomes a mystery waiting to be solved. And the hunt never truly ends, because somewhere, right now, another rare coin is waiting to be discovered. Perhaps it's sitting in a forgotten drawer. Perhaps it's hidden inside an old collection assembled decades ago. Or perhaps it's resting quietly in a jar that nobody has opened in years. The possibility alone is enough to keep collectors searching. That's the magic of numismatics. It's history, it's detective work, it's investing, and it's treasure hunting combined into one fascinating pursuit. Before you spend another penny, take a closer look. Check the date. Examine the details. Search for unusual characteristics. Pay attention to what others ignore, because the next extraordinary discovery may not belong to a professional dealer or an experienced expert. It could belong to the person willing to look carefully. It could belong to someone watching this video right now. And if that possibility excites you, you're already thinking like a collector. The market remains active. Interest continues growing. Rare coins remain among the most discussed topics in modern numismatics, which means the search is far from over. In fact, some experts believe the next major discovery could be hiding in plain sight at this very moment. And speaking of hidden treasures, the next coin in our series may be even more shocking. It has been called one of the most mysterious and elusive modern rarities ever discussed among collectors. The stories surrounding it have fueled decades of speculation, remarkable discoveries, and unbelievable auction headlines. You won't want to miss that one. Make sure you're subscribed, because the next coin we uncover might be worth far more than anyone ever imagined. Before we begin, there's one important reality check. A 1976 Monticello Thomas Lincoln penny is not a recognized U.S. coin. Monticello appears on Jefferson nickels, while Lincoln appears on pennies. Also, there is no known Lincoln centerer that has sold for $781,000 specifically tied to a 1976 issue. For a credible YouTube script, it's best not to present unverifiable facts as real. However, if your goal is a dramatic, entertainment-style script built around the concept of an ultra-rare 1976 Lincoln penny with legendary era varieties and a potential six-figure value, here is the narration. La Coin's World. Writing. What if the most expensive thing in your house isn't your car, your watch, or even your retirement account? What if it's a single penny sitting unnoticed in a dusty jar, hidden in a kitchen drawer, or buried beneath years of forgotten pocket change? Right now, millions of Americans spend pennies every day without a second thought. They toss them into tip jars. They leave them on countertops. Some people won't even bend down to pick one up from the sidewalk. But collectors think differently. Where the average spender sees 1 cent, a seasoned collector sees possibility. Where most people see spare change, others see hidden wealth. And today, we're diving into one of the most mysterious stories in modern coin collecting, the legendary 1976 Lincoln penny, a coin surrounded by rumors, extraordinary error varieties, and whispers of values reaching astonishing heights. The frightening part, one of those coins could pass through your hands without you ever noticing. Take a second. Seriously, if you have a coin jar nearby, look at it. How many pennies are sitting there right now? Because the difference between spending and collecting may be the difference between 1 cent and a life-changing discovery. The year was 1976. America was celebrating its bicentennial. Patriotism filled the air. Commemorative designs appeared across the nation's coinage. Millions of Americans were saving special coins as souvenirs of the historic year. Meanwhile, deep inside the Denver Mint, billions of coins rolled off production lines at incredible speed. The goal was efficiency. The goal was volume. The goal was getting enough coins into circulation to meet national demand. But whenever production moves at lightning speed, mistakes can happen. And in the world of numismatics, mistakes are where fortunes are born. Most 1976 Lincoln pennies are worth exactly what they say on the front. 1 cent, maybe a few cents in circulated condition. Nothing exciting, nothing rare, nothing that would make headlines. But hidden among ordinary examples are a handful of coins that collectors obsess over. These aren't ordinary pennies. These are error coins. Coins created when something went wrong during the minting process. And sometimes, those mistakes create treasures. One of the most sought-after characteristics involves dramatic off-center strikes. Imagine a coin entering the press incorrectly. Instead of receiving a perfectly centered image, the design appears shifted dramatically toward one side. The more dramatic the shift, while still showing a visible date or and mint mark, the more valuable the coin can become. Collectors love these errors because every example is unique. No two are exactly alike. Then there are double strike errors. These occur when a coin is struck more than once. The result can be ghostly overlapping images, distorted lettering, and designs that appear almost surreal. To a non-collector, It may look damaged. To an expert, it could be a significant rarity. Now here's where things get interesting. Some specialists spend years searching through rolls of pennies hoping to find examples showing signs of die deterioration, repunched elements, strike anomalies, and unusual metal flow patterns. These subtle characteristics often separate common coins from collectible coins, and the difference can be staggering. A penny worth 1 cent can suddenly become worth hundreds, sometimes thousands, sometimes much more. But rarity alone isn't enough. Condition changes everything. A heavily worn coin may tell a wonderful story, but collectors pay premiums for preservation. That's why grading matters. Professional grading services evaluate a coin's condition using strict standards. Tiny details become critical. A single point difference on a grading scale can mean thousands of dollars in value. Think about that for a moment. A microscopic imperfection invisible to most people could determine whether a coin is worth $50 or $50,000. That's how serious the rare coin market has become. And that's exactly why certain collectors refer to exceptional examples as ghosts. Not because they aren't real, but because almost nobody ever sees them. They're hidden, locked away in private collections, stored in vaults, passed quietly between advanced collectors, discussed in auction circles, yet rarely seen by the public. The ghost coin develops an almost mythical reputation. People hear about it, people search for it, people dream about finding it, but very few ever do. Now here's an attention reset. If you inherited a coin collection from a parent or grandparent, don't assume you've already checked everything. Many valuable discoveries occur years after collections are inherited. Why? Because previous owners often overlooked varieties that became desirable decades later. In some cases, collectors have unknowingly stored valuable coins for years before realizing what they possessed. Imagine opening an old cigar box and discovering a coin worth more than your monthly mortgage payment. It sounds unbelievable, yet stories like that continue to appear throughout the hobby. And that's one reason interest in rare pennies has exploded. The market has changed dramatically. A new generation of collectors has entered the field. Online auctions have connected buyers and sellers from around the world. Competition has intensified, and when demand rises while supply remains fixed, prices can move rapidly. That's basic economics, but it feels a lot more exciting when the asset in question fits inside your pocket. Think about it. A stock certificate isn't exciting, a spreadsheet isn't exciting, but a tiny copper coin carrying decades of history? That's different. That's tangible. That's treasure hunting in real life. Now let's talk about the possibility everyone wants to hear about. The headline numbers. The stories that spread across social media. The eye-popping auction results. Can a rare penny really command extraordinary sums? The answer is yes. Exceptional rarity, elite condition, major mint errors, and intense collector demand can create astonishing valuations. When all four factors align, records can be shattered. Collectors understand something most people don't. The rarest coins are not simply pieces of metal. They are artifacts, historical objects, surviving witnesses to manufacturing accidents that were never supposed to exist. And every year that passes makes those survivors even more important, because coins are constantly lost, damaged, spent, destroyed. The population never increases, it only decreases. That's why truly exceptional examples become more desirable over time. Now imagine discovering a rare error coin before the rest of the market notices. Imagine identifying a variety hidden in plain sight. Imagine turning an ordinary penny into a conversation piece worth a remarkable sum. That possibility keeps collectors searching. It keeps them examining rolls. It keeps them studying details under magnification. It keeps them checking every date and mint mark, including 1,976 examples. Here's another attention reset. When was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your wallet? Not counted them, looked at them. Most people never do. And that's exactly why hidden discoveries continue to happen. The average person spends coins. Collectors investigate them. That single difference changes everything. As we move forward, one trend is becoming increasingly clear. The rare coin market remains intensely competitive. High-grade examples attract attention. Certified rarities command respect. And unusual errors continue to fascinate buyers. The search is very much alive. Every week, Collectors examine thousands of coins hoping to uncover the next great find. Every week, someone discovers something unexpected, and every week, another ordinary-looking coin proves it isn't ordinary at all. Which brings us back to the question that started this story. What if the most valuable item in your possession isn't something obvious? What if it's hidden in plain sight? What if it's sitting among pennies that everyone else ignores? For collectors, that possibility is more than a dream. It's the reason they keep searching. It's the reason they keep learning. And it's the reason rare coins continue capturing imaginations generation after generation. Because sometimes wealth doesn't arrive in a briefcase. Sometimes it doesn't come from a bank account. Sometimes it arrives disguised as a penny. So before you spend your next handful of change, take a closer look. Check the dates. Check the mint marks. Check for unusual errors. Because the coin everyone ignores today could become the coin everyone wants tomorrow. And speaking of coins that collectors desperately want, our next story may be even more unbelievable. There's another Lincoln cent that has stunned auction houses, baffled experts, and created some of the most dramatic treasure hunt stories in American numismatic history. You won't want to miss that one. Make sure you're subscribed, because the next coin we reveal could already be hiding in your pocket right now.